Now we're going to talk about how you can take that image that you edited and insert it into a new background. So for instance, here's our PNG file where we had erased that background. The easiest way to pop it in is just to resize your workspace until you can see the image, whether it's on your desktop or in another file. Move things around until you can see the image and your workspace, and then just drag the image over. Click on it and drag it over. You also, when you're in PowerPoint or any other program, can go to Insert and go to Photo, Picture from File, and go find the picture that way. And it will insert it for you. So you would just go find your file here. But I like to just drag it in because it's easier. Now we need to figure out how to resize, rotate, and flip. So to do that, you're going to click on your image and it's automatically going to highlight some boxes around the edges of your image. So you just click on the boxes. Here's your cursor. When you move, that's that area where your mouse is going. If you move that to these boxes, it turns into a different type of a arrow or a symbol, and that tells you that you can click there and adjust the shape or size of your image. So adjust it until it's the size that you want. You also can look at that for that crosshairs to click on the image and just drag the whole thing around so you can move it closer to where you might want it to be. And then up here at the top, this green dot allows you to rotate the image and then continue to shrink it however you want it, whatever you want to do to it to make it fit into the new background the way you want it to. You also might want to flip your image. My recommendation for that, you can click on the boxes on the edge and just move them past each other, but you can see it starts to distort your image. So my suggestion would be to instead go to Arrange and go to Rotate or Flip, and then flip horizontal or flip vertical depending on what you're doing. If you don't like how it turned out, the fastest way to get rid of that is to just click on Control Z, or if you're on a Mac, hit Command and then Z, and it's just a quick undo button. So that's one way to flip. Another way is to just, if you're on a Mac, to use a double click or a control click and go to Arrange. And then you also can just do a right click if you are on a PC. And that Arrange button is really key for flipping. The other thing you might want to do is format your image. So if you double click on the image, typically a formatting toolbar will appear somewhere depending on what program you're using. But in general, these are the types of tools that you'll see under this format picture area. One thing you might want to do is recolor. This is perfect for my image, but I might want to put this image on a different background that is black and white. So if I were to do that, I could recolor the image. Find one that matches. The first one in the top left is like a black and white photo. I'll even change this to black and white just to give you the idea. I'll recolor it to black and white. You might also decide just on other little adjustments. You can do different filters. These are different artistic filters that you can do to make it look more like a poster or other things like that. You might also want to change the brightness, the contrast, whatever you want until you feel like your picture better matches your background and blends in. Format picture also helps you if you forgot to save your file as a PNG. If you saved it as a JPEG file, watch what happens when I click it in. Instead of it being clear, it's white. So if you go to that format picture tool, you can remove the background. You just take this inner rectangle and stretch it until it's around the entire part of your image that you do want to keep. And then it's not a perfect program. It looks like this one worked, except that these areas of his legs are purple. That means those are going to get cut out. So what you do is you trace just like a quick line along those areas, and the computer starts to recognize what you were trying to save. So if you accidentally save it as a JPEG, there's still a way around it. It looks like this basketball is getting cut out, so I'm just going to trace a line on that basketball. And you can make this work. And then you just click on the return key. Oh, it looks like, see, his hair was also taken out. So I'm going to do Command Z to undo what I did. And now I can trace along his hair to make sure that his hair is part of the picture that I want to save. All right, now that's looking better. I just hit enter to fix that. So now we have this image with the background erased. You can use the background image or the remove background tool for your original image, but it just takes a while, and I just think FotoFlexer is a more precise tool, but this is an option as well. So the other thing I just want to talk about real quick is layers. If you have more than one image in your program, it has different layers. So this is on the top of all the other layers. No matter where I move it, it's on top. This image with the basketball hoop and the brick wall, that's in the very back. So wherever I move it, the computer has it in the back. And then this black and white image is in the middle. It will always be behind this colored image and will always be on top of the brick wall or basketball hoop image. You might want to change that. You might want to have this black and white image be on top of the colored image. So what you do is, whichever one you're working with, you're going to either right click or do the double click if you have Apple, or go up to this arrange tool, and instead of going down to rotate or flip, you'll go to these tools, bringing it to the front, send it to the back. Right now, the colored version of this image is what is in the front, and it's what's highlighted. If you want to send it to the back, it's going to go all the way to the very back. So now it's behind this wall, and you can see the basketball poking out. I'm going to undo to show you. If you go to arrange and instead of send to back, you just send backward, it sends you back one layer. So that means it's going to go backward one layer. It's going to go behind this image, but it's still in front of the image in the back. So you have to decide, are you bringing it all the way to the back or just back one layer at a time until you have it where you want it. Same thing for going forward. If I want this black and white picture to be behind this colored image, then I can either click on this image and send it back, or I can click on the colored image and arrange and bring forward. So that layering is something that you can do, and it's in that arrange tool. So more often than not, whatever you're going to do to adjust your image is going to be either in arrange with your sending front or back, or you're rotating and flipping, or you're going to be in format picture to change backgrounds, change filters if you want to play with some of the different designs. If you're trying to blend in with, say, a painting or a poster or something besides a regular picture, or these corrections with the lighting, making things blurry. Picture correction options will also give you some other tools to play with, and you can just kind of play with things until you feel like it matches with your background. So arrange and format picture are going to be your best tools, in addition to the little boxes that are around your image.